Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're absolutely cracking the code on how to navigate the modern AI-driven job hunt. If you've been feeling like your resume is just, disappearing into some digital black hole lately, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to dive deep into a fantastic, incredibly practical workshop originally presented by Feng and Dr. Michael Tang. Honestly, their insights are going to completely change how you view your resume, how you interact with AI, and how you actually present yourself to employers.
Just a quick shout out before we get into the real nuts and bolts. This highly practical framework comes to us courtesy of Global eSchool and the Career Alliance, who hosted this invaluable session. It is completely packed with actionable strategies, so let's just get right to it.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the new hiring landscape, the anatomy of a strong resume, using AI as your assistant, nailing the interview, and finally, a concrete 7-day action plan to get you hired. Let's jump in. Section 1. The new hiring landscape. Look, the days of just handing a piece of paper directly to a human or even emailing it straight to the decision maker, those are pretty much gone. Today, your resume is processed by software, way before a recruiter spends any meaningful time on it. The flow is now from your resume right into the applicant tracking system, then to the recruiter, and finally over to the hiring manager. So the absolute crucial point here is this. You've got to strategically write for both software systems and actual people. You have to optimize for clarity, relevance, and evidence. No cheap tricks here. Let's actually demystify the ATS so you can breathe a massive sigh of relief. An applicant tracking system simply helps employers store applications, parse resume fields, and filter candidates by required questions and keywords. That's literally it. It's just a tool to organize data. What it does not do is assign you some secret universal ATS score. Keyword stuffing? That's not going to guarantee you an interview either. And most importantly, these systems absolutely do not replace human judgment. A human is still going to read your resume, which means human judgment still reigns supreme. All right, moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of a Strong Resume. I want you to really put yourself in a recruiter's shoes for a second. When you look at your own document, ask yourself this crucial question. Does it pass the 30-second test? Because realistically, that is often all the time you get. In a super quick scan, can a recruiter instantly understand exactly who you are, what you do, and why you're fit for this specific role? If your resume is just crammed with dense paragraphs, tiny text, or overly complex layouts, they are absolutely going to miss the answers to those questions. You need clear headings, simple bullet points, and totally clean formatting. And check out the difference here between simply listing your duties and actually selling your achievements. Saying, managed customer accounts and responded to service requests is, well, it's boring. It tells me what your job description was, not what you actually accomplished. But managed 40-plus customer accounts and improved response time by standardizing service request tracking, now that sells. You've just used the magic formula, action plus scope plus result plus evidence. Remember this, responsibilities tell, but achievements sell. If you're sitting there wondering, okay, but how do I actually prove these achievements? Use this matrix to brainstorm your evidence. Where can you add numbers? Did you impact revenue through growth? Did you save time by making a process faster? Think about scale for a second. How many users, customers, or sites did you handle? What about quality? Did you reduce error rates? Can you show leadership by mentioning the size of your team or efficiency through cost savings? Seriously, inject these metrics wherever you can to make your value completely undeniable. Now, obviously, all this evidence needs to be perfectly targeted. When you're tailoring your resume to a job description, identify the repeated skills and tools the employer is asking for. But here is the key. Ensure you are matching the true meaning and context rather than just blindly stuffing your resume with keywords. Don't just list Power BI in a skills section. Instead, say something like built Power BI dashboards used by regional managers. And above all else, never ever copy keywords or skills into your resume that you can't confidently defend in an interview. Which brings us to Section 3, AI Assistant, not Author. So here's the golden rule, folks. AI is terrible at being you, but it is a phenomenal editor. You have to supply the real experience, the accurate facts, and your unique voice. But you can absolutely use AI to refine it. Try using this highly specific prompt. Tell the AI to act as a resume editor for my target role. Paste the job description and your current bullet point. Then instruct it to strictly preserve your facts. Use clear action verbs, highlight your measurable impact, and give you 3 different versions to choose from. It's a real game changer. You really have to think of AI as an assistant, not an author. Let's look at this life cycle. You start with a basic duty, responsible for updating website. The AI-assisted draft polishes it up.
updated website content, and supported customer requests. It's okay, but it's pretty generic, right? It requires your final human touch to add real, specific context. The human refined version combines AI polish with your specific reality. Managed website updates and coordinated customer requests across email and messaging channels, improving project visibility for the team. Now that is a winning bullet point. But you've got to be aware of the common AI traps. Please, never let software invent your metrics or exaggerate your responsibilities. Do not let it hallucinate skills you literally do not have. And watch out for the overuse of empty buzzwords. AI loves, and I mean loves, to call you strategic, innovative, dynamic, and visionary. Recruiters see right through that generic fluff. The best practice is super simple. AI drafts, you verify, you personalize, and you decide what makes the final cut. Don't ever submit AI output without rigorous proofreading.
Okay, Section 4, Nailing the Interview.
During the workshop, Dr. Michael Tang brought some incredible perspectives straight from the employer's side of the table, like what actually makes an answer credible. He emphasizes that hiring managers are ultimately looking for relevant capability, credible evidence of your results, and crystal clear communication. They want to see your problem-solving skills, your reliability, and your learning agility. They aren't looking for perfection, guys. They are looking for proof that you can deliver value and work well with the team.
To provide that credible evidence right on the spot, you absolutely have to use the STAR method for behavioral questions. This is a brilliant framework that keeps your answers specific, concise, and heavily focused on outcomes. STAR stands for situation, so setting the context, task explaining your specific responsibility, action describing exactly what you did, and result, showing the clear outcome.
Let's actually see how this works in practice for something like managing multiple priorities. Situation: supported several client projects with overlapping deadlines. Task: needed to deliver urgent updates without delaying other commitments. Action: I prioritized by deadline and business impact, used a task board, and communicated changes early. Result: met critical deadlines and reduced last-minute confusion. You see how that works? It's a completely clear, evidence-based response that leaves zero doubt about your capability.
But beyond those behavioral questions, whether you're at a career fair or just answering that dreaded "tell me about yourself" question at the start of an interview, you need this 4-part introduction ready to go. 1, who you are. 2, what you do, highlighting a recent achievement. 3, what you're seeking. And 4, why you are interested in this specific company. You've got to practice this out loud until it sounds completely natural, not like you're just reciting a script. And finally, Section 5, your 7-day action plan.
By breaking this whole process down into a 7-day action plan, you completely transform an overwhelming job hunt into a series of highly effective, manageable daily wins. Day 1, get focused. Choose 2 to 3 target roles. Day 2, update your master resume with that evidence matrix we talked about. Day 3, actually tailor it to one real job posting. Day 4, make sure your LinkedIn headline and about section match your new narrative. Day 5, draft and practice 5 distinct STAR stories. Day 6, research the employers you want to talk to. And Day 7, practice that 30-second intro and prepare a few smart questions to ask the interviewer.
As you wrap up your 7-day plan and finalize your materials, leave yourself with this ultimate final test. Could you comfortably explain every single line of your resume in an interview? If you've relied too heavily on AI, well, the answer might be no. But if you've followed this framework, focused on real evidence, and tailored your achievements, the answer will be an enthusiastic yes. As the hiring process becomes increasingly automated, the real question you have to ask yourself is this: if an algorithm is filtering your past, how will you use your uniquely human voice to secure your future?